Namaskar. Very good afternoon. Dear learners, I, Dr. Renu Tumur, welcome you back as to discuss the topic which I took in my previous lecture, which was on study of organization behavior in the organization as to improve the performance of the schools. So friends, in my previous lecture, I have been discussing about the scope of organization behavior, particularly in the school. And we have talked about the personality, which are the various dimensions of personality, how they are to be utilized by the manager or the administrator so that the individual perform to their best in the organization. We started discussing about motivation. We talked about the kind of motivation, that is intrinsic motivation as well as extrinsic motivation. Now we shall be talking about what are the ways to motivate employees. The first way to motivate the employee is that we shall be conducting the motivation survey. If we are conducting motivation survey, then naturally we are getting to know the genuine feedback, the candid feedback from the individual itself, that how their experiences are. We shall also be taking their ideas and suggestions. So employee motivation surveys are very important tools which should be there, which should be conducted, if not at quarterly basis, at least half yearly basis, so that as a management we are aware of the fact that what motivates the individual. We should also be aware of the various suggestions which an individual wishes to give, because organization having more ideas is supposed to be working in a better possible manner. Another important survey which need to be conducted is employee satisfaction survey. Employee satisfaction survey is important because it gives us information related to the work environment. It also provides us information related to infrastructure as well as the need of infrastructures, and it also informs us about the roles and responsibilities of the individual, how they can be improved. For example, in the school, as a principal, you might be facing that the teachers who are working with you, they are not working at the same pace at which, or with the same enthusiasm at which they were working previously when they joined their job. It's very much probable that they are not satisfied. Despite the fact that you are paying them well, still they may not be satisfied. They may not be satisfied because of the fact that they don't feel involved in the environment. So it's very important, it's very relevant that we involve our colleagues in the decision making. The decision making can vary from simply deciding the timetable to the structure of the curriculum which is to be taught. It can also vary from deciding the need of the infrastructure to the roles and responsibility which an individual needs to take up. So conducting employee satisfaction survey will help you to understand the dissatisfaction factors and to act upon them. Another important aspect which as a manager, as an administrator, as a principal we should keep in mind is that we need to recognize if the job is well done. Recognition plays a huge role in increasing the motivation level of the employee. It helps to create a healthy bond between the employer and the employee. We should be focusing on intrinsic reward. What is intrinsic reward? Intrinsic reward means the individual feels linked to the job. Individual feel that if he or she has performed well, so that has to be linked with the satisfaction. The person should feel satisfied because the person has performed well. So extrinsic reward should be faded out very quickly, and we should focus on motivating our employee from within. This can be done by working on basic theories which have been given by different people in the field of motivation. Like if we take example from the the different management experts who have given the theory. To take example of Maslow, Maslow has given a theory according to which there is a pyramid of satisfaction of the individual. So, if we realize that where the individual is placed on that pyramid, then naturally we would be able to provide the motivator according to the need of the individual. As an administrator, we should be able to understand that what has to be given to make individual more motivated. And when we are talking about the school, usually the money, or we can say the rewards which are extrinsic in nature, that is the salary, the bonuses, do play important role, but rather there are other factors which are more important. The factors like the teachers being able to feel satisfied with the job, teachers being able to feel that the environment suits them, they feel that the culture is, the organizational culture is motivating for them, it is being curtailed for addressing their needs also. So, accordingly we shall be able to provide them promotion benefits, we shall be able to provide them scope to go for researches, scope to go for training, scope to improve their skills. That should be there as part and parcel of the environment of the organization. If it exists, then naturally the individual would be feeling empowered as well as motivated. Another important factor which we need to curb as to keep our individuals motivated is that bureaucracy. It is usually seen, if we compare the autonomy with the bureaucracy, it is usually seen that the bureaucracy leads to lot of hassles. In fact, it is not only time consuming but also really unwanted, particularly at a lower level or the middle level. If we have hired people with certain skill sets, let them do their job. Be a facilitator, not a dictator. Human beings value autonomy, and particularly when we are talking about the school, where the teachers in Indian tradition have been given so much respect culturally. So, we should keep that aspect in mind and accordingly give them respect and accordingly give them autonomy. Another important aspect which has been seen as motivating the individual is the work environment. Now the question is how to create amazing work environment. Will providing free lunches or free coffee or having lot of meeting can improve the work environment? In fact, the organization should invest in the work environment where people actually spend more than 50 hours a week. How to invest in that work environment? Invest the mind, invest the creativity, invest the freedom to the individuals. We should create a good environment which keep our staff, our subordinates, our colleagues motivated. For that, the person has to be visionary. For that, the environment should be such that every individual is able to aspire for proving oneself. So, there has to be some level of challenge. Apart from that, there should be comfort level. There should be trust in that environment. If there is more of trust, then the individuals will feel at rest as far as they will feel confident at taking decision as well as working. So, that type of work organization is generally seen to keep the staff motivated. Another important aspect on the part of manager or the administrator is that the person should be visionary. Person should be able to lead with vision. What does that mean? The person should know what the destination of that organization is. The destination can be based upon the short plan, a yearly plan, even a 6-monthly plan or the quarterly plan. That destination should be clear. Along with that, the path which an individual needs to take up. Individual means the leader needs to take up, the manager needs to take up, because the path which the manager or the leader is taking up, that would be definitely be followed by the others. So, individual has to derive a destination and as well as have the path in place and make visual reminders of the road map to oneself, as well as encourage one's own employees to add to that road map, so that they also feel that they are the one who have created the road map through their suggestions, through their ideas, that will make them motivated as to act on them. So, ensuring that ideas, suggestions, grievances are handled well. They are put forth by the individual because they trust their administrator, their manager, their leader. Then naturally they will feel motivated if we are able to, as a leader, we are able to address them in timely fashion. So, that will keep them motivated. Another important aspect which is seen to be motivating individuals is career pathing. Career pathing means having a career growth plan. This clearly mentions that career growth plans, which should be clearly mentioning the roles and responsibilities which are crucial to the employees. It should help them to focus and direct their efforts to the achievable goal. So, one should keep in mind as an administrator, as a manager, as a leader, that every individual has a career path to follow. Every individual is looking forward to a growth plan, and as a leader we have to help them not just in moving easily on that growth plan, that is providing the avenue of improving themselves through training, further education, going for promotion, not like that, but also this is one of an important aspect, but apart from that, as a person who has more knowledge, we should also be contributing, we should also be suggesting, we should also be advising, we should also be helping them, so that they feel that as a leader, as a principal, we want them to progress and we care for them individually, not just as the person who is working for the organization, but also as a person who is our colleague and working with us, as to perform better, as to have the goal which has been decided by each one of us. Friends, another important aspect, particularly when we talk about the Western culture do provide flexibility in the timing, because it has been seen that there are certain individuals who like to prefer working in 9 to 5 job. There would be few who would like to work in the evening hours. So, providing the flexibility to the individuals, keep them happy and motivated. Moreover, even letting the people work from home if it is feasible, that also keep them motivated, because then they feel that they are working as well as they are able to contribute in their family by being there. So, that also keep them happy. Now, let us try to understand why employee motivation has been given so much importance by different managers or different thinkers. When we talk about importance of employee motivation, let us keep it in mind that the motivated employees usually ensure the positive atmosphere within an organization. That keeps them happy, that make them feel safe and in their work. That also has to seen increasing the retention of the workforce, because if the stakeholders are happy, if the employees are happy, then they will like to remain in that organization and contribute to their best possible manner. And if they are contributing to their best possible manner, then naturally organization shall be achieving the better results, because if each is competing to achieve better result than their counterparts, then naturally the organization would also be achieving the better result. When we talk about motivation, there are many thinkers who have given various theories, and all theories have been given the equal importance by the people. But today I shall like to discuss the Herzberg theory. Herzberg theory, which is generally known as a two-factor theory, it is based upon two factors. The first factor is motivator and the second factor is hygiene. When we talk about motivator, The motivator which have been pointed out by Herzberg are recognition, growth avenues, achievements and the work itself. These are seen as the motivator factors. Let us try to understand each one of them. What does recognition means? Recognition means just giving a simple pat, making the individual feel that the work which he or she has performed is valued. So recognition, just the verbal recognition also, or being given certain rewards, is something which keep individuals motivated. Second, if we provide growth avenue to the individuals in the same organization, that also keeps the people motivated. Another important aspect which has been highlighted by Herzberg is achievements. Achievements means individual achievements, or as well as individual achievement in the work area in the organization. So the work has to be defined in such a manner that the individual has certain goal linked with the working. If the goal is linked, the objective is linked, then naturally every individual, after having worked and achieved that goal, will feel as if one is achiever, and that way the person would be feeling more motivated as well as moving at a higher pace, because that goal will also be shared by the others. So there will be positive competition in the organization. Another important aspect, and which is very important aspect from the perspective of organization, and this is what I believe, the work. If the work is challenging, then naturally the individual will feel motivated. Now the question is, challenging to what level? So the challenge of the work has to be at par with the understanding of the individual. It should be a challenge, that is, the individual should aspire to be successful, and the success should also be achievable. It shouldn't be happening that the work becomes so difficult beyond the understanding of the employee, and the result is that the person doesn't want to take up that particular work, then that work will not become a motivator. Herzberg has also given hygiene factors. Just as he gave 4 motivator factors, he has given 4 hygiene factors also. Security, company policy, salary and work condition. Security means work security. If the individual feel that he or she is secure in one's own work, then naturally individual would be feeling comfortable in that job and would be able to give the best also. Another important hygiene factor which has been highlighted by Herzberg is company policies. Company policies have to be in the favor of employee. They shouldn't be against the employee. For example, there are companies which take attendance so seriously that a person who has come 15 minutes late, the person has to pay some amount of salary because of coming late, and they overlook the fact that the same individual might have attended to the work after the 9 to 5 time was over. He or she might have been working till 7 in the evening because he or she is so much interested in the work, or find work so challenging, or he or she is so committed to the work that the person may have attended to the job and completed it. So the company policies should be in the favor of individuals and also should be very fair and unbiased. Another important hygiene factor is salary. Salary means the salary should be such that the individual feels satisfied. The individual should feel that the work is being treated with respect, because the salary is the output of the work done of each one of us. So salary should be linked with the work, and it should be not just in proportion to the work done, but also should be sufficient for an individual to run one's own household. Another important hygiene factor which has been pinpointed by Herzberg is work conditions. So work condition has to be positive. Here we can address the work condition related to safety, the safety in the organization, because in the organization where the safety of the individual is not kept in mind, then naturally the person would feel not so motivated or not so safe in working in that organization. It has been seen that the motivating factors encourage employee to work harder, and hygiene factors, if they are not present, will discourage employee from doing their best at their work. So hygiene factors are basically discouraging factor and motivating factors are encouraging factors. So hygiene factors are the facilitating factors, facilitates the positive employee behavior, and motivating factors are the one which makes the person give their best and better than the previous one or better than the other person who is working at the same level and doing the same kind of job. There are 4 types which have been given by Herzberg when we talk about this theory, two-factor theory. There are 4 types of individuals. One is high hygiene and high motivation. What does high hygiene and high motivation? They are the employees who are usually happily motivated. They have very few grievances. They score high on the hygiene also because they are able to see the positivity in the organization. So that also means that the organization should be able to provide the good hygiene factor, and the motivation should also be there in the organization, and apart from that the individual would also be motivated from inside, that is intrinsically motivated. So they are the people who take the organization ahead, and they are the people who get the others also working, because they work at their best as well as want the others also to work their best, and because they are very positive, always energetic, so they inspire others also to work at the same pace. The second type is high hygiene and low motivation. That means the people would be having less grievances because of the high hygiene factor, but because of the environment not being so motivated, the people will be not so highly motivated. This here we can take the example of the organization where the employees are paid well, but the work is not very interesting. So in those cases generally we find that the people are high at hygiene and low at motivation. Then the third type of organization are low hygiene and high motivation. That means despite having grievances, the people are highly motivated. What kind of organization that can be? This can be the organization where the work is extremely interesting, and despite the fact that employees are being paid lesser than the actual market price, still they feel very much satisfied in working because of the challenge, because of the interesting work and the positive culture. They want to work in that organization rather than going for the organization which has safety and security linked to the working. Then there is the fourth kind of type, which is low hygiene and low motivation. This itself obviously means that it is a worse situation where there is no safety of the people who are working in the organization. The people are dissatisfied as far as the hygiene factors is concerned, that is they are low at security, the company policies are against the individuals, the salary is also low, and the work conditions are not so favorable, and apart from that the motivation factors are also absent, that the work is also dull and the people are not enjoying the work, and apart from that there are no positive culture in the environment in that organization. So employees are neither motivated and hygiene factors are not in the place. Now let us try to understand that how this theory can be used as a principle, how this can be put into the practice. First and foremost, we need to rectify and change the bureaucratic company policies. The company policies should be in the favor of people. We should ensure that the human resource, that is the teachers here or the non-teaching staff, is in line with what other organizations are offering, and they know what the leaders expect from them. So keeping both the hygiene factor, as that is the policies, and the work should be such that it is win-win situation for both the employee and the management. Secondly, we can ensure that as a managers that we become mentors, we don't become bosses. Employees should be respected and supported for their work, and they should be given verbal as well as in the form of reward, the appreciation for the good work which they have given. So organizational culture is seen to play a very important role. So organizational culture should be made positive. Another important aspect which we understand particularly from this theory when we talk about hygiene, make sure that compensation, perks and bonuses are as per the market standards, because if we don't compensate our subordinates, our colleagues well, then we shouldn't expect them to remain motivated and show interest in taking initiative or working to their best. So to increase job satisfaction, we have to confirm, we have to make sure that the jobs are construed well and employee find those jobs meaningful. We should be delegating our employees responsibility, make them feel valued and respect their individuality. We should be listening to their feedback seriously, and that feedback or grievances should be taken very seriously, and the effort should be made to clear the grievances should be removed, and the individual should be provided their dues in time, and the action should be taken immediately on their grievances wherever necessary. So friends, from here what we understand is that the motivation is a very important aspect in the organization, and it should be kept in mind by the administrator that we keep our people motivated. So this was one of a theory which I have shared with you, that was two-factor theory given by Herzberg, but there are other theories also which have been given by the experts. And as a leader, we should be well versed with the other theories also, and wherever required we should be able to apply those theories so that our environment and the culture, the organizational culture remains vibrant, motivated, and individuals remain satisfied in that organization. Because if an individual is dissatisfied, that means the person would not work with the complete efficiency and effectiveness, and that will hamper the progress of the organization in the long run. So at this note, I, Dr. Renu Tomar, is signing off as to join you back again as to discuss the same topic. In the next topic, we shall be talking about leadership and managership, and how the leadership has to be incorporated amongst the leaders so that they are able to get the best performance from their subordinates. So friends, Jai Hind, Namaskar, be safe and take care of your health.